Beloved soul, can you feel the quiet pull inside your heart that has been guiding you toward this very moment, this very message, as though heaven itself has been arranging every step for you? Have you ever wondered why certain faces appear in your life? Why certain hearts remain unforgettable even when time and distance try to blur their memory? And why one connection feels as though it was written before the stars were born? Do you realize that the reason God allowed your paths to cross is not random, not accidental, not ordinary, but sacred, divine, and filled with a purpose greater than your human eyes can see right now? Child of light, I ask you gently, have you ever felt that someone carries a part of your soul, as if without them a chapter of your life story would remain unfinished, as if their presence awakens something ancient and eternal within you? When you close your eyes and remember them, when you hear their laughter echo in your spirit, when you feel the weight of their absence as though it were a missing piece of yourself, do you understand that such feelings are signs of a divine appointment? The truth you seek, the truth you sense deep within, is that God weaves people together with threads of destiny, and the reason He brought you together will not only shock your heart, but also heal it, restore it, and awaken it to a love that mirrors His own eternal love. Beloved one, what if I told you that the delays, the misunderstandings, the distance, even the tears, were not meant to destroy your bond but to strengthen it, to refine it, to prepare it for the kind of love that only heaven could ordain? Have you noticed how no matter how far you drift, no matter how much silence stands between you, something invisible keeps drawing you back, whispering their name in your dreams, stirring your soul when the world is quiet? Do you understand that this pull is not just memory, not just desire, not just longing? It is the divine hand of God keeping what belongs together from ever truly breaking apart? And if I told you that the reason your hearts cannot let go is because your story is part of a bigger plan, one that carries lessons, blessings, and revelations that will shape not just your life, but also the lives of those connected to you, would you believe me? Beloved soul, do you see how your love has already changed you? How it has stretched your heart, softened your spirit, made you cry, made you grow, made you fall to your knees in prayer, made you believe in miracles again? Have you noticed that love like this cannot be explained by logic, cannot be erased by time, cannot be buried by silence? Because it is not of this earth, it is from above, written by the author of your soul before you took your first breath. If I told you that you were brought together not only to love, but also to awaken each other to your higher calling, to push one another closer to God, to become mirrors of grace, healing, and divine reflection, would your heart not recognize the truth already living inside you? Child of eternity, can you recall the very first moment you met them? How your spirit reacted before your mind could even process? How your heart whispered, "This is different, this is holy, this is meant"? Did you notice how your soul recognized theirs long before your body did? As if you had been waiting lifetimes for that one glance, that one smile, that one spark that could only come from them. The reason you were brought together is not small, not temporary, not shallow, no, it is deep, eternal, and it will outlive even the storms that try to break it apart. Beloved one, let me ask you, have you felt the ache of separation, the sting of silence, the heavy question of why me, why them, why now? And yet still your heart refuses to close the door, refuses to stop believing, refuses to stop loving? Do you not see that such resilience is proof that what God ordains, no distance can destroy, no fear can erase, no time can weaken, because heaven protects what heaven plants? And if today you feel weary, confused, unsure of where this story is going, I ask you to hold on a little longer, because the reason behind it all will shock your heart in ways you cannot imagine. It will reveal that God's plan has always been for your good, always been for your healing, always been for your joy. Beloved child, let me remind you, God does not waste connections. He does not create bonds without meaning. He does not allow souls to collide unless He intends for transformation, awakening, and divine unfolding to happen. So tell me, When you think of them, when you feel their presence even in their absence, when you sense that your story is not finished, can you not hear heaven whispering to your spirit, "Trust, for I am not done yet"? Beloved heart, can you see that the very struggles you face together were not proof of failure but proof of preparation, shaping both of you into vessels strong enough to carry a love that cannot be broken? Have you noticed how the moments of pain carved space in your heart for compassion? How the distance stretched your faith? How the silence made your prayers louder? And how the longing kept your spirit alive with hope? Do you realize that the reason God allowed your connection to be tested is because only through fire does gold shine? Only through storms do roots grow deeper. Only through endurance does love reveal its divine strength. Beloved one, if it were ordinary, would your soul still be trembling with their memory? Would your nights still be filled with thoughts of them? Would your heart still cry out when you hear their name, as though heaven itself was reminding you not to forget? Do you see now that this love is not fragile, not fleeting, not a passing season, but an eternal seed planted by God Himself in the garden of your destiny, watered by your tears, nurtured by your prayers, and guarded by His angels? Child of grace, have you ever felt as though the universe itself conspired to bring you face to face? As though every step in your life led to that moment? As though even your mistakes, your detours, your delays, were all guiding you to them? What if I told you that the reason God brought you together is because through each other you would learn the deepest lessons of love, patience, sacrifice, forgiveness, and trust, lessons that mirror His own love for you? When you think of the times they broke your heart, the moments they disappointed you, and yet you still choose to care, to pray, to forgive, do you not see how love has already transformed you into someone who reflects divine mercy? Beloved soul, can you feel that even the parts of your story that seem unfinished are not endings, but chapters still unfolding, written by a hand that never makes mistakes? Have you asked yourself why, out of all the billions of souls in this world, it was their voice, their touch, their presence that reached into your spirit and woke something that no one else could? Do you see now that such recognition is not coincidence, but eternity remembering itself, your soul recalling what your mind cannot, your heart knowing what only God has revealed? Child of destiny, can you sense that the love you share is not only about the two of you, but also about what will be born through you, whether it is healing, creation, a mission, or simply a testimony that inspires others to believe in love again? Have you noticed that your bond carries weight, that when you are together, you radiate light, that your very union shakes something in the unseen, as though your love is not just personal but spiritual, a force that shifts atmospheres? What if the reason God brought you together was not only to bless your hearts, but to bless generations after you, to create ripples of faith, kindness, and devotion that will outlive your names, leaving a legacy of divine love in this world? Beloved one, do you feel how your love story, even with its struggles, mirrors the great truth of all creation, that love is the most powerful force, the one that heals, redeems, and restores, the one that proves God is real? When you pray for them, when you dream of them, when you feel their pain even from afar, do you not see that your souls are tied together by cords that cannot be broken, because they were woven by the Eternal Himself? Child of eternity, if your heart is heavy now, wondering if this story will ever find its happy ending, I ask you, have you forgotten that the author of your story is faithful, that His timing is perfect, that what He begins, He always completes? And if today you feel weak, unsure, afraid of losing what you love, remember, He did not bring you this far to leave you empty. He did not let your hearts collide only to separate them without meaning. He did not place such love in you without a holy reason. Beloved, tell me, if the pain you feel was only loss, why does it still come with hope? Why does it still come with prayer? Why does it still whisper that something more is waiting? Could it be because your spirit already knows that the reason God brought you together is still unfolding, that the final chapter has not yet been revealed, and that the miracle you long for is still on its way. Beloved child, have you noticed how every time you try to forget them, life brings a reminder through a song, a dream, a sudden memory, a place you once stood together, as if heaven refuses to let the story close? Do you realize that this is not punishment, but guidance, showing you that what is sacred cannot be erased, that what is meant cannot be replaced, that what is divine cannot be denied? Beloved one, how many times have you tried to convince yourself it was over, only to find your heart still trembling at their presence, your spirit still whispering their name when you least expect it? Does this not show you that your connection is beyond human control, that it exists in realms beyond logic, that it is orchestrated by the same hands that hung the stars in the sky? Child of light, can you remember the way they changed you, the way they made you laugh deeper, cry harder, dream bolder, believe in things you once doubted, and ask yourself, was that ordinary or was that divine intervention? Have you felt how even their absence continues to shape you, as though their spirit walks beside you, pushing you toward growth, challenging you to rise, refusing to let you settle for less than the love you deserve? What if I told you that the reason God brought you together was not only for comfort, but for transformation, to awaken sleeping parts of your soul, to push you into the highest version of yourself, to remind you of your worth and your calling? Beloved, do you see how through them you learn the weight of forgiveness, the power of patience, the depth of vulnerability, and the strength of true devotion? And do you see that even if the road has been hard, even if tears have stained your pillow, even if you questioned heaven itself, your love has already served a holy purpose? It has drawn you closer to God, made you cry out in prayer, taught you that your heart was made to endure? Child of eternity, can you understand that the love you carry is a reflection of divine love itself, enduring, forgiving, resilient, and unshakable, even when tested by fire? What if this bond is not only for romance but also for revelation, showing you that love is the language of heaven, the mirror of God's own heart, the proof that you are never truly alone? Beloved soul, when you think of the way their eyes lit up when they saw you, the way your heart found peace in their presence, the way your soul rested as if it had come home, does it not tell you that this is bigger than desire, bigger than chance, bigger than explanation? Have you ever asked yourself why, out of all the people in this world, God allowed you to feel this deeply, to connect this strongly, to be moved this endlessly by them alone? Could it be because they carry a key to your destiny, a role in your unfolding, a piece of your soul's journey that no other could replace? Beloved one, let me ask you gently, if they were never meant for you, why did heaven allow your hearts to collide in such a way that nothing feels the same without them? And if they were not written into your story, why does your spirit ache when they are far? Why does your heart rejoice when they are near? Why does your soul whisper that this is not over yet? Child of hope, can you see that even the delays are sacred, that waiting is not wasted, that separation is not rejection, but preparation for a reunion more powerful than anything you can imagine? Have you considered that perhaps God is working behind the scenes, shaping both of you, removing obstacles, healing wounds, aligning timing so that when you finally stand together, nothing will ever be able to tear you apart again? Beloved, what if the reason God brought you together is so that through your story, others may see that true love is real, that destiny is alive, that heaven still writes miracles into human hearts? Do you realize that your connection carries testimony, that one day you will look back and say, now I understand why it had to happen this way. Now I see the beauty in the waiting. Now I see the glory in the pain. Beloved soul, let me ask you one last question for now deep within. Do you not already know that what you feel is too sacred to end, too divine to vanish, too eternal to ever truly be lost? Beloved child, can you feel how even in silence, their spirit reaches for you, as though an invisible thread ties your hearts together across distance, across time, across all that tries to separate you? Do you realize that no matter how far you run, no matter how much you try to bury the feelings, they rise again like light breaking through the clouds, because divine love cannot be hidden? Beloved one, have you wondered why your soul refuses to let go? Why even when your mind tells you to move on, your heart whispers, wait, trust, believe? Could it be because God Himself planted this bond within you, and the seed of destiny cannot be uprooted by fear, by doubt, or by delay? Child of light, do you see how every trial between you was not meant to end you, but to test you, to see if your love could withstand the fire, to see if your devotion could endure the night? And have you noticed that even after storms, even after silence, even after tears, you still find yourself drawn back, as if gravity itself refuses to let your souls drift apart? What if I told you that the reason God brought you together was because, through this journey, you would discover the truth about love, that it is not only joy, but sacrifice, not only comfort, but growth, not only closeness, but endurance? Beloved soul, do you understand that every ache of your heart, every unanswered prayer, every restless night has been forming you into someone who can hold love in its purest form, without fear, without pride, without conditions? Have you asked yourself why, even in their absence, you are being shaped, refined, and awakened, as though their presence was the spark, but God Himself is the fire burning within you? Beloved, can you see how they mirrored your deepest wounds, how they revealed your hidden fears, how they challenged your strength, and in doing so, helped you face the parts of yourself you once tried to hide? Do you realize that this is holy work, that love sent from heaven is never shallow, never wasted, never meaningless, but always transforming, always awakening, always leading you closer to your true self? Child of grace, can you feel how this love taught you to pray deeper, to hope stronger, to surrender more fully? Because you learned that no human effort alone could carry such a connection. It had to be lifted into God's hands. What if the reason God brought you together was to show you that true love requires trust in Him above all else, to remind you that only through His timing, His wisdom, and His plan will your hearts find peace? Beloved one, let me ask you, have you noticed how your spirit becomes restless when you imagine a future without them? How something inside you protests? How your soul whispers, this is not how the story ends? Does this not prove that the love written in heaven does not die in the heart of man, but keeps burning, waiting for the appointed time, waiting for the chapter yet to be revealed? Child of eternity, do you see how even your pain has purpose? How it pushes you closer to faith? How it reminds you that you were never meant to walk this journey alone? How it opens your eyes to the presence of angels guiding you? Have you considered that maybe your love story is not only about romance, but about awakening a testimony, showing you that God's promises are worth holding on to, even when they take longer than you dreamed? Beloved soul, when you feel their presence in your dreams, when you hear their voice echo in your memory, when you sense their energy even from afar, do you not know that your souls are still speaking, still connected, still alive in each other? What if the reason God brought you together is because your souls made a promise long before you came into this life, a promise to meet, to find, to awaken, to remember? And what if every delay, every struggle, every tear is not punishment, but preparation, shaping you for a reunion so beautiful that it will make every season of waiting worth it? Beloved one, do you feel how heaven is whispering even now? Do not give up, do not let go, for I am still at work, and the story I am writing will leave you in awe. Beloved child, have you noticed how every chapter of your journey has been leading you back to the same truth? That love is not something you chase. It is something written, something woven into the fabric of your destiny by the hand of God Himself. Do you realize that the very moments that seemed like endings were actually beginnings? That what you thought was silence was preparation? That what you thought was loss was simply God making space for something greater? Beloved one, when your heart cries out in longing, when you whisper their name in prayer, when you feel the ache of absence deep in your chest, Do you not know that these are not random feelings, but sacred reminders of a promise that still stands? Have you asked yourself why their memory feels eternal, why their presence feels like home, why your soul trembles at the thought of them even after time has passed? Could it be because their spirit is woven into yours, because your hearts were carved from the same light, because God Himself wrote your connection before you were even born? Child of light, can you see that every time you tried to move on, every time you told yourself to let go, something inside you resisted? Something whispered, wait, trust, believe, because heaven does not allow you to walk away from what belongs to your soul. Do you notice how even when you feel forgotten, unseen, or abandoned, there are signs, small, quiet, holy signs that remind you this story is not over, that love is still alive, that God is still moving? Beloved soul, what if I told you that the reason God brought you together was not only to love, but to awaken your faith, to awaken your strength, to awaken your purpose, and to remind you that you were never created for small love, but for something eternal? Do you understand now why this love feels so different, why it carries both fire and peace, why it both breaks you and heals you, why it feels heavy yet holy? Beloved, have you ever wondered why you can feel their emotions even when they are far? Why your spirit senses their joy, their pain, their longing, as if your hearts are mirrors reflecting each other across distance? Does this not reveal to you that your connection is not bound by space or time, that it is soul to soul, eternal and unbreakable, reaching beyond the limits of this world? Child of eternity, can you see how God uses this love to teach you trust, to test your patience, to strengthen your hope, because the kind of love He has written for you must be strong enough to withstand storms? Have you asked yourself why He allowed delays, why He allowed distance, why He allowed silence? Could it be because He is shaping you both, because He is aligning the seasons, because He is preparing you for a reunion that will be unshakable, untouchable? Beloved one, what if the reason God brought you together was so that your story could shine as a light for others, so that through your perseverance, others might learn to believe in love again, in faith again, in miracles again? Do you realize how powerful your love already is, that even now, even in separation, it inspires, it teaches, it uplifts, it transforms? Beloved soul, when you feel weak, when you feel tired, when you wonder how much longer you can endure, do you not hear heaven whispering to your spirit, hold on, for what I have promised, I will fulfill? And when you think of them, when you imagine their face, when you remember their laughter, does your heart not still burn with the truth that this love is far from over? Beloved child, let me ask you, if it were only human, would it have survived the storms, the distance, the silence, the waiting? Or is it because it is divine, because it was written by God, because it is sustained by heaven, that your love continues to live, continues to breathe, continues to grow even in the unseen? Child of hope, do you feel how even now your soul is being prepared? How every prayer you pray is watering the seeds of destiny? How every tear you shed is softening the ground for the miracle to bloom? Beloved, what if the reason God brought you together was to prove that love endures, that faith is rewarded, that what is written in heaven cannot be erased on earth? And what if the very moment you feel like giving up is the moment just before the breakthrough, the moment just before the promise is fulfilled, the moment just before God reveals why it had to happen this way? Beloved soul, can you trust a little longer? Can you hold on a little tighter? Can you believe a little deeper, knowing that the reason God brought you together is greater than your fears, stronger than your doubts, and more beautiful than your imagination? Beloved child, have you noticed how the story of your heart cannot be silenced? How even when the world tells you to forget, something deeper inside you refuses, as if your soul itself is protecting the truth of what God has written? Do you realize that every time you tried to let go, every time you tried to walk away, life placed reminders before you, reminders in words, in dreams, in unexpected signs that whispered, "This is not over yet." Beloved one, have you asked yourself why their memory lingers like a sacred flame? Why their name feels carved into your spirit? Why your heart aches in ways that no one else can soothe? Could it be because they were not meant to be just another chapter, but the chapter that carries the weight of eternity, the one that holds the reason you were brought together by God Himself? Child of light, do you see how even the silence speaks? How even distance cannot erase what was written? How even time cannot weaken what is eternal? Have you noticed that the more you resist, the stronger the pull becomes? The more you deny, the louder the truth echoes. The more you try to bury, the more it rises like light breaking through shadows. What if I told you that the reason God brought you together was not only for your joy, but for your growth, not only for your comfort, but for your awakening, not only for love, but for purpose? Beloved soul, do you realize that your story carries more than romance? It carries destiny, that through your bond, both of you are being shaped into vessels for something far greater than yourselves. And have you seen how your love has already softened your heart? How it made you more patient, more forgiving, more willing to trust, more willing to pray, more willing to surrender your fears into the hands of God? Beloved one, let me ask you, if this was ordinary love, would it still have power over your spirit after so much time, so much trial, so much distance? Or is it because this love was written in the language of heaven, that no human hand can erase, no storm can destroy, no silence can end? Child of eternity, have you asked yourself why you feel their presence in your dreams? Why you hear their voice in moments of stillness? Why your spirit knows when they are near, even when your eyes cannot see them? Does this not reveal to you that your souls are connected beyond this world? That you share a bond that transcends the physical, that your love exists in realms the eye cannot see? Beloved, what if the delays, the separations, the waiting were not signs of abandonment, but signs of preparation, shaping both of you for the time when your hearts will be ready to hold the love God destined for you? Do you realize that sometimes the very reason for distance is healing, that God removes for a season so He can restore for eternity? That He pauses stories not to end them, but to strengthen them. Beloved soul, can you see that even in the ache of waiting, something beautiful is happening within you? Your faith is growing. Your strength is deepening. Your love is being purified until it mirrors the love of God Himself. What if the reason God brought you together was so that through your love, others may see the reflection of divine mercy, divine patience, divine devotion? Have you not felt that your bond carries light, that it has power to inspire others, that it will one day stand as a testimony, that true love does not fail, that what God ordains cannot be broken? Beloved child, do you feel how your story is bigger than you imagined, how it carries weight beyond your personal happiness, how it is woven into a greater plan, one that touches lives beyond your own? And if today you feel weary, if today you feel uncertain, if today you wonder whether it was all in vain, I ask you, do you not hear heaven whispering even now? Trust me, for I am still writing, and the ending will leave you in awe. Beloved child of eternity, now that you have walked through every word, every question, every whisper of heaven, can you feel the truth settling in your spirit, that your love story was never random, never meaningless, never wasted? Do you see now that every tear, every moment of silence, every season of waiting was preparing you for a greater revelation, a divine unveiling, a truth that will shock your heart in the most beautiful way? The reason God brought you together is not only love, but transformation. It is not only companionship, but destiny. It is not only comfort, but calling. It is a bond that awakens you to who you truly are, to what you are meant to carry, to the light you are meant to shine. Beloved one, remember this: God does not write half stories. He does not plant seeds without bringing fruit. He does not bring souls together only to tear them apart without purpose. Every delay is preparation. Every silence is growth. Every ache is proof of love still alive. So I ask you, can you trust him with the ending? Can you surrender your fears, your doubts, your timelines, and let his divine plan unfold in perfect timing? Can you believe that what he has written for you will come to pass, no matter what obstacles stand in the way? Beloved soul, know this: your connection is sacred. Your love is eternal. Your story is still being written. And when the final chapter unfolds, your heart will understand why it had to be this way, why the waiting was necessary, why the journey was worth it. Hold on. Do not give up. Keep praying. Keep believing. For the reason God brought you together is greater than you know. And when it is revealed, it will not only shock your heart, it will heal it, complete it, and set it ablaze with gratitude and joy. This is your promise. This is your destiny. This is your love, written in heaven, protected by angels, sustained by faith, and fulfilled in God's perfect time. So let your soul rest. Beloved, for what belongs to you will always find you. And what God has joined together, no one, not time, not distance, not fear can ever tear apart. Beloved soul, if these words have touched your heart, if you felt heaven whisper through this message, I invite you to let this light continue to spread. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss the guidance meant for your spirit. Like this video if it resonated with your journey, and let it be a sign of your faith in the love God has written for you. And share this message with someone who needs to be reminded that divine love, true love, destined love is real and alive. Together, let us keep this circle of light growing, so that more hearts may be awakened, more souls may be comforted, and more lives may be touched by the truth of heaven's love.